Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Faiqri Muyassar. I am from English Literature B 2019. And this time I want to explain about theory of culture. The material is about culture as text, narrative, and hermeneutics. This is from the chapter number 11. So this is the material from the chapter number 11, culture as text, narrative, and hermeneutics. Okay, so we begin the explanation. For today, it is a commonplace to observe that culture or social life is a text, and that is has to be interpret for some perspective. However, this dictum is more axiomatic than for others, although it is central to many forms of structuralism and post-structuralism. And attention, the story-like qualities of social life is perhaps strongest in those theoretical approaches that are concerned with narrative and hermeneutics. In this chapter, we focus on the narrative and hermeneutics. When structuralists approach the analysis of narratives, especially conventional stories that literature, their activity is often given the name of structuralist theorics. The central theme here is often so much binary oppositions, but rather plot, character, and genre. Advocates of the approach see it as a step towards a more scientific approach to literature, one which goes beyond traditional evaluation, criticism, and tries to set up value-free yardstick for classifying and exploring texts. Within these traditions, the work of Russian folklorist Vladimir Prop holds a canonical opposition, especially within the fields of literary criticism and folklore studies. For the most part of the analysis of narrative has been an activity of literary theorists' interest in the study of text. The field has a lot to say about cultural content and various robust and structural models. It provides a basis for theorizing and autonomy of cultural forms. It also has quite a bit to say about agency in the reader and author, yet it has almost nothing to say about how narrative intersects with broader social life. And about hermeneutics, there are strong affinities between the hermeneutics tradition in social science and those advocating the centrality of narrative. Hermeneutic as an area is concerned with issues of meaning and mutual understanding traditionally. It has tended to be subjective, humanistic, individualistic, aesthetic, philosophical, and phenomenological in orientation. In the context of literary criticism, for example, it has been centrally concerned with the theorizing whether the reader can recover the meanings and thought held by the author. Narrative theory, by contrast, has tended to be more objectivist in orientation. As we have seen in the first part of this chapter, there is a focus on the text, its form structures, and social implication, with no interest whatsoever in the subjective intention or mental state of the author. Most recently, hermeneutic has taken on board lessons from structuralism, post-structuralism, and narrative theory. And so the boundaries between hermeneutics and other forms of cultural inquiry have begun to be broken down. And so I think that is enough from me, from my explanation about culture as text, narrative, and hermeneutics. I hope you can understand my explanations. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.